Yo, what's up, YouTube? Back with another today. We're going to be talking about the most highly anticipated game of Week 1. Everyone wants to see it. It's a playoff rematch. The Browns at the Kansas City Chiefs. So that playoff game was a divisional round game, and as we all know, the Chiefs won that one. Mahomes got injured late in that game, and the Chiefs' backup QB miraculously got a first down on a fourth and down play. Like, that was insane. But, this is a rematch, and all I gotta say from the start, the Cleveland Browns have revenge in their blood. And, that might drive them to win this game, but we gotta talk about the players first and, both sides of the ball. So we all know the Chiefs have been a dominant force in the NFL for the last couple seasons with Mahomes at QB. And the only time I saw this man vulnerable was in the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers. And the only reason why I say this because the offensive line was, it was horrible. It's the only reason why they lost the Super Bowl. They couldn't even score a touchdown. It was so bad. Mahomes is a magician. He made so many great plays in the Super Bowl and, a lot of great throws that weren't even caught. But, the offensive line was just getting destroyed by the Buccaneers' defensive line. And if you look at that, the Browns got one of the best defensive lines in the league. So how did the Kansas City Chiefs address this in the offseason? Well, apparently they got players to make it better. And I know that's true, but Week 1, is it going to play good? Is it not going to play good? Is it going to play worse than it did in the Super Bowl? Or should it be, at a level of excellence the Chiefs expect it to be at to protect Mahomes, to run the ball? We're just going to have to see what happens. But yes or no, they are going against one of the most dominant defensive lines in the league. That is mostly due to Myles Garrett there, absolute monster. They picked up Jadeveon Clowney in the offseason. I'm not really buying in that. He didn't even play good with the Titans. Wasn't that good with the Seahawks. Wasn't really good for the Texans, but last season wasn't that great. But Browns' defensive line is really good, so he might fit in perfectly and have another really good season, like a Pro Bowl season. And that could be a scary duo with Clowney and Myles Garrett. That could be very, very, very scary. So that's the first matchup we got to consider. How is this offensive line going to perform against this dominant Browns defensive line? That could be like the deciding factor in this game. Well, also, of course, we got the Chiefs passing game. It's just insane. Didn't really lose anybody except, I think, Sammy Watkins, but that was it. Mahomes is the best QB in the league for a reason. The best player in the league for a reason. They got Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. Sometimes it's unstoppable. The Browns secondary, it wasn't ranked the best last year. In the offseason, they addressed that. They got 2 players from the Rams. They drafted a corner in the first round. So even though they got new players to address their difficulties in the secondary, it could still be, could be bad just because it's Week 1. But, it's going to get better as the season continues. But we got to talk about Week 1. What's going to happen Week 1? The Rams defense, as we all know, was really good last year. So those players might have experience, but still, they're not the superstars from the Rams. We're just going to see what happens there. So 2 things I've mentioned. The Kansas City Chiefs expect their offensive line to be better, and the Cleveland Browns expect their entire defense to get even better just because of Jadeveon Clowney, and they got players for the secondary. So with two of those things added, this is going to be an interesting matchup between the Browns defense and the Chiefs offense. Now, we got to talk about the other side of the football. We got to talk about the Browns offense versus the Chiefs defense. When you think of the Browns offense, what do you think of? You immediately think of how they're the best at running the ball. They were ranked number 1 in the league with offensive line. And, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, they were just destroying everybody. 2 are very, very elite running backs. One of them played for the Chiefs, and Nick Chubb's insane too, but when one of them gets tired, the other one's in. So, it's basically unfair if you think about it. It was a good pickup by the Browns to get Kareem Hunt. So, yeah, they're one of the best rushing offenses in the NFL, and it's, hard to stop. It was semi-contained in the playoff game just because the Chiefs' coaching is really good, but the Chiefs' defensive line is probably the weakest positions on their team. Like, their offense is insane and their secondary is good, but their defensive line's not the best. So you're gonna see a lot of running by the Browns. That should be their offense week 1. They should be running the ball efficiently, effectively, getting touchdowns, probably 20-yard gains if lucky. But, there's other components. The Browns' passing game, Baker Mayfield. So we all know Odell Beckham Jr., he's back from injury. And they got Jarvis Landry. The Chiefs' secondary is really good. Basically every single player in their secondary is back from last year. It's like 10th in the league, so it's pretty decent. And the Browns' passing game's not the best, but it's not bad. They're actually better without Odell. So when he's back, we're just going to see what happens there. So a lot of question marks for the Browns' passing game. Is it going to play well? I don't know. Probably not. But like I said, when you got 2 elite running backs that can literally carry the load, I think the passing game doesn't really matter that much. It's still pretty good, but it's not the best. Not the best. It's like 15th in the league. So overall, let's talk about the matchups. Browns passing game versus Chiefs secondary. I think Chiefs secondary wins that battle. And Browns rushing offense versus Chiefs defensive line. I think Browns win that battle. So we're gonna see a lot of points scored. Not over 30, but not under 20. I expect the Browns to score 20 to 30 points this week. And then on the other side of the football, Browns defensive line versus Chiefs rushing offense. I expect the Browns defensive line to win that matchup just because I don't think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the best running back. Their offensive line is also pretty garbage, and their rushing offense isn't the best. But also we got Chiefs passing offense versus Browns secondary. Chiefs are obviously going to win that battle. So, this game looks pretty even. We got home field advantage, I think, matters a lot, especially since, I think capacity at stadiums is 100% now. So I think that matters a lot, especially when the Browns are on offense. They might not be able to hear, what plays to do and stuff. That could be a key factor. We all know Kansas City is a loud place too. So by now, you probably have who you think is going to win in mind, just because, it's the Chiefs. So I'd say 90% of you, probably more, think the Chiefs are going to win. I'm just going to say it right now. I hate the Cleveland Browns in my life because I'm a Steelers fan, but I actually think they have a shot at winning this game just because I think their defensive line is going to control this game, just like the Super Bowl. The Chiefs' offensive line is a big question mark, and the Chiefs' defensive line could easily pressure Mahomes, just like the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers. It could be that dominant, it would win them the game. Historically, the Chiefs win week 1, but they always play bad defense and bad offense in the first quarter or two. They always let the other team score, and then they just come out of nowhere and win. Won't be surprised if that happened. We saw against the Texans, where the Texans were up by 24 in the playoffs. The regular season game after that, they were up by a couple. The Bills were up by 10 plus in the playoffs, and then they just came out of nowhere and won. It's just how the Chiefs play. Their coaching staff's incredible. They make adjustments to win games. They just couldn't win the Super Bowl because Tom Brady's insane. But if the Browns are winning this game by 10 or more, I think the Chiefs could lose this game. I don't think they're coming back from that one. So I'm going to say it. I hate the Browns, but I'm picking them to win this game. Here are our expert picks from experts with quotation marks. Everyone's got the Chiefs except that one dude. But these are all close games, and I think the Browns' defensive line somehow wins them this game. I hate to admit it. Browns looking pretty good. Might win the Super Bowl. I'm just kidding. But they're looking pretty good. I think they might upset the Chiefs. They got they got revenge in their veins. They need to win this one. We're just going to see what happens. Comment down below your predictions. Adios.